the fingerless gloves. Anna and I are giving these gloves as a gift for this Christmas. And it is called Eyelet Mock Cable Ribbing. That's the name of the stitch. This is how the gloves look like. Look how pretty those are. Fingerless gloves. They're very nice for when you're driving your car, handling mail, papers. In your computer, your fingers are free and your hands are warm. Look how pretty they look. Nice. Anyway, the regular butterfly cast on. Please look at your tutorials. They're right there. Regular cast on. Make your slip stitch. And on this project, it's a number 7 knitting needle. And I'm casting on 41. So 2, 3, 4, 5. And there we go. So this ribbing, let me show you how this is done, because the ribbing has to be, or it's nice if it shows the same as the stitch. So see, as this part here, the ribbing is knit 2. I mean, you start with purl 2 and knit 3. 1, 2, 3, purl 2, knit 3, purl 2 and knit 3, and that's the repetition. Let's do it. I am going to start with purl 2. I purl 2 and knit 3. 1, 2, 3, and purl 2, and that's the way we finish it also. So it looks very pretty. Purl 2, knit 3, 1, 2, 3. You purl 2. Whenever you cast on, please leave a long tail, because it is you need it to sew it with. 1, 2, 3. Let's see if it's true. Purl 2, knit 3, purl 2, knit 3, purl 2, knit 3. Okay, now I purl 2 and I knit 3. 1, 2. Of course, the first row is always a little bit difficult to knit because it's the first one. All your stitches are flat on your needle. And 1, 2, 3, purl 2, and knit 3. And I have 41 for this stitch and for these gloves. And of course, if you're making it for a person that has bigger hands, or just make it a little longer, because it gives. See, it gets very, you can do it, it goes around your hand a lot, so that's okay. So I purl 2 and knit 3. 1, 2, 3, and purl 2 and knit 3. 1, 2, 3, and we finish with a purl 1, because when we sew it we need that one. So row number 2 is knit 1, purl 3, 1, 2, 3, knit 1, knit 2, knit 2, and purl 3. 1, 2, 3, knit 2, because what you do is that you're knitting the ones that were purled on the other side, and you're purling the ones that you knitted on the other side. So that's the way stitches look. the opposite. So you're going to be repeating these 2 rows for 12 rows. These 2 you repeat. So 1, 2, 3 purls and 2 knits. 1 and 2. And 3 purls. 1, 2, 3. And 2 knits. 1, 2, 3 purls, and it shows where they belong. 1, 2, 3, and 2 knits, and 3 purls. 1, 2, 3, and of course the instructions are going to be there. 2 knits, and purl, 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 and the last will be the 2 knits. So you repeat these 2 rows 6 times, which means 12 rows, which looks like this. So this is the way you count them. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then you start with your stitch here. So 6 repetitions of these 2 rows, 12 rows in total, and this is what it looks like. We're going to teach you how to make the stitch. I am going to knit 2. This is row number 1. There's 4 rows that you need to repeat. So purl 2, pass 1 as if to knit. You don't knit it, you just pass it.
Hold on a second. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you said knit 2. Can you repeat it again, please?
Okay, I purl 2, pass this one without knitting, and then you knit 2, and then this one that I didn't knit, that I just passed, goes over these 2 knits. Now I have to bring my yarn to the front because I purled 2, and then I put my yarn in the back because this one is going to pass as if to knit without knitting it, but as if to knit. Pass that one, knit the next 2, and the one that you passed you put over these 2. So now we purl 2, and we are going to pass this one as if to knit without knitting it, but as if to knit. Knit these 2. The one that I passed goes over these 2 knits, and now I purl 2. I pass this one, knit the next 2, pass that one over the knit 2, and I purl 2. So I pass that one without knitting it, I knit the next 2, pass that one over these 2 knits, and I purl 2. So I passed this one without knitting it, as if to knit, and I knit these 2, and I pass this one over these 2. So this is the repetition on this row. You purl 2, pass 1 as if to knit, knit 2, and pass that one over. So purl 2, pass that one as if to knit, knit these 2, and you always, that one goes over, and I always end with knit 1. So that's row number 1. Row 2. This is the wrong side, and I am going to knit one because that belongs to the purl on this side, and it's a knit on this side. So now I'm going to purl. I purl 1, and I yarn over my needle, and I purl the next one. So now I have 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and I knit the next 2, and I am going to purl 1, yarn over my needle, purl, and knit the next 2, purl 1, yarn over my needle, purl, and knit 2, purl 1, yarn over my needle, purl 1, and knit 2. So I purl 1. My yarn goes over my needle. See, my yarn is in front. I want it in front again. Therefore, I go around and I have my yarn in front again because the next one is a purl. And I knit these 2. So I purl 1, yarn over my needle, purl, and I knit 2, purl 1, yarn over my needle, purl the next, and knit 2, purl 1, yarn over my needle, purl the next, and knit 2. So the next 2 rows are the same as your ribbing here. See, I really wanted the stitches to match. So this is what you're going to repeat. So this is the same as the ribbing in the bottom. You purl 2, yarn in the back, knit 3, 1, 2, 3, purl 2. Please watch that you do knit the one that you yarned over your needle. So that is 1. That is the one that you knitted over your needle. See it? Right there. You have to knit that one. And purl 2. Make sure that you knit the 3, 1. That one was the yarn over your needle from the last row. You knit it, knit that one too, and purl 2. So that's the repetition. So I knit 1, yarn over my needle, I knit that one. The repetition is purl 2, knit 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's it. So we repeat, purl 2 and knit 3, 1, 2, 3, and purl 2. 1, 2, 3 knits and 2 purls and 3 knits, 1, 2, 3, and we end with a purl 1. That was row number 3. Row number 4 is you knit 1 and you're going to purl 3, 1, 2, 3, and knit 2 and purl 3, 1, 2, 3, knit 2, and purl 3, 1, 2, 3, and knit 2, and purl 3, 1, 2, 3, and knit 2, and purl 3, 1, 2, 3, knit 2, and purl 3, 1, 2, 3, and knit 2, purl 3, and knit 2, purl 3, and the last knit 2. So that's your stitch, those 4 rows, and that's how your stitch looks. Isn't that pretty? So I think I'm making 10 repetitions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now on the top on this pair is going to be a little different from this, because I really prefer a little ribbing instead of repeating that one that I have the holes here. I think I prefer to do ribbing the same as at the bottom. Here's a ribbing of knit 2, purl 2, knit 3. That same repetition from here I'm going to do up here, and then I will finish my glove. So this is the way I finished it. I did 2 more rows of the purl 2, knit 3, purl 2, knit 3, the same as the ribbing under here. So this is the way I finished it. I did 2 more rows of the purl 2, knit 3, purl 2, knit 3, the same as the ribbing under here. We're going to show you how to cast on. So I have my ribbing there. I did 2 rows. This is purl 2, knit 3, purl 2, knit 3, and on the way back I do the opposite. I knit 1, purl 3, knit 2, purl 3, knit 2, purl 3, knit 2. So this is the way we're going to cast off, the same as you knit it. So every time you see a little yarn like this horizontal right there, that you purl. Every time you see a V, you knit. So this is a purl. We're going to purl 1, purl the next, put your yarn in the back. Now you're going to pick up the first one and pass it over the second. This is the same as regular cast off, but we're going to follow the stitch here. So the next one is a knit, and we knit, and that one goes over. The next one is a knit, so we knit, we pass that one over. The next one is a knit, you see the V, so that's a knit, and we pass this one over. And the next one is a purl, see, right there. So we have to bring our yarn to the front, and we need to purl. Put your yarn in the back so you can pass it over. Put your yarn in the front because the next one is a purl also. So we purl. Put your yarn in the back. Pass it over. The next one is a knit. We knit it. Our yarn is already in the back. You pass it over, knit, and pass it over, and knit, and pass it over, And now the next one, you can see it's a purl. Bring your yarn to the front, purl. Put your yarn in the back because it's easier to put it over. Put your yarn in the front because this one is a purl, purl. Pass it over. The next 3 are knits, so the yarn stays in the back. And that's another knit. And that's a knit. And the next one is a purl, so I bring my yarn to the front and purl. Put my yarn in the back so it doesn't bother me to pass it over. Purl. Put my yarn in the back. And the next 3 are knits, so I knit. Take that one off, knit, take that one off, knit, take that one off. The next one is a purl. So this is important because this is a cast off as you are seeing your stitches. That's a purl. We bring our yarn to the front, we purl. Pass that one over, and the next 3 are knits, so it's 1, 2, 3, and the next 2 are purls, so I bring my yarn to the front and purl and pass it through, and I purl the next one, pass it through. And the next 3 are knits, so I knit, knit, pass it over, knit, pass it over, or cast off if you want to call it like that. The next 2 are purls, so I purl, take my yarn to the back so it doesn't bother me while I cast off, and purl, and cast off. And the next 3 are knits, so I knit these 3, the next 2 are purls, so I purl and purl, the next 3 are knits, knit, knit, cast off, knit, cast off, and the last one is a purl. So I purl and cast off. So now I have one left. I am going to cut my yarn the amount that I need to sew there. I always like to leave long tails because I have enough to sew it with. Pass your yarn through your loop and see how pretty that looks. Very nicely finished. And all your stitches are laying down very nice. This is the glove that is already finished, and I am going to sew it. So I will go into that first, that's the knot there. I will go into the very next one inside, so that it shows like if I was making a new stitch when connecting. So I go there, and that is my knot here. And this is the purl 2 that we made at the beginning of the row. And we go and find the next knot right there. And we have a tutorial on how to sew your stuff. So this is the reason why we purled 1 at the end. See, that is the purl 1 at the end when we knit it on row 1 and 3 and 7 and 9. That is the purl 1. So if you connect the purl 1 with the other purls, then you have two the same as here, because you're taking half of one and connecting it with the others. So now I am going to go from that knot to the next, and this knot to the next, and from here to there, open them so you can see where you're going. And that is your first row, your first stitch, which is the first part of your knitting. Now from here to there, and it's from knot to knot, and you can see the knots there. So from here to the next knot. Please look at the video on how to sew side by side, because we have it there. So there, and here. So I will see you when I am done with this, so that I can show you how to know when to stop the knitting, the sewing, so for your thumb. Now I'm sewing my glove. Look how pretty that looks. You can see how I went around. So please watch the video on how to sew side by side. And of course I measured my hand, see how it looks, how far I want it. And now I can see that I want from here to here that much. So now I pick up my yarn and go into that one that I did last, which is that one, and I put it in the back, and I pick up a little piece from there, that side, and a little piece from this side, a little bit more, and I go there and make a little knot. I'm going to make another one, might as well. Let's go and do another one here, together with this one. Make a little knot there. Make sure it's nice and tight, so it doesn't go anywhere. And now we can weave it in. And we are done. So let's cut that one off. And of course I sewed from the bottom to the top, and I think that's how much I want it from my thumb. Yeah, that's how much I want it. So I pick up my yarn, put my there, go into where I took off the last time, sew it to the back, pick up a little piece from one side and the other, and make a knot. Let me pick this, make a little knot there. Now this is wool. This is very, very warm yarn. Very nice. So we go in there and sew and make another little knot. Make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And we will weave in the ends. And there we go. We're done. Neat. So now this is the way it looks. Look how pretty that is. Nice and warm. Fingerless gloves.